Yo, what's up guys, welcome to another video. And in today's video what I have for you guys is a video on why Call of Duty Modern Warfare just does not feel like Call of Duty. And let me just make one thing clear. This video is not going to be about bashing Modern Warfare. It's pretty much going to be the other way around. I'm going to be praising this game because it is absolutely amazing, and I do think that it does require a video like this to make it out there, to make this point like go further than it actually is right now, because I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. I see a lot of people praising the game, saying that it's a really nice game. The guns, the maps, everything feels really smooth, everything feels really nice. Before we get into the video, one thing that I want to point out is a lot of people have been saying not to criticize this game because it's an alpha stage, and I just have to disagree with this. This game is nowhere near alpha stage. The beta is coming in like 2 or 3 weeks from now, and it's pretty much going to be the full game. The beta is pretty much the full game with a couple of restrictions, and obviously there's going to be a few changes when the full game releases, but by no means the weekend beta or the weekend alpha that we just had is not an alpha. It's just a marketing tool used by Activision to, you know, give fans the kind of hope that a lot of things can still change, a lot of things will be changed and developed throughout, you know, the development over the few months coming up to the game's full release, but it's nowhere near alpha stage. So yeah, moving right into the main topic of this video, I wanted to talk about why this game just doesn't feel like Call of Duty at all. Like, we've never had a game like this. We've never had a game where it feels so much different from Call of Duty. Like, the fundamental things that make Call of Duty feel like Call of Duty are just pretty much not there. Like the gunplay, the movement, everything from leaning and mounting weapons to the guns themselves. The amount of recoil that the guns have is just much different than any other Call of Duty before. Like, if you compare the recoil in this game and then play a bit of Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 3 or even some of the older Call of Duty games, you'll see a massive difference in gun realism. There's much more realism added to this game, and we've had the exact same thing happen with Black Ops 4. The developers were promising for the game to be a bit more tactical, hence the increase of health, hence the operators or the specialists in the game and the different specialist abilities they have, like Torque's barricade, Torque's razor wire and stuff like that. But it turned out to be just the same as any other Call of Duty. Like, even though they increased the health, it didn't really feel much different. It felt the exact same as COD before. I guess they just made it higher so they can round up the damage of guns better and make it a bit more equal, I guess. And that's the main reason why they even increased the health in the first place. That's at least the biggest rumor why Treyarch has done that in Black Ops 4. So I just want to mention this. It's literally like 25 degrees and I'm recording this video at night and I'm absolutely boiling, but I had to turn the fan off for the video just because it sounded horrible. I figured that even if I pulled the fan away from my mic and pulled it in the opposite direction, it was still so loud. So I'm literally risking my life to record this video. So please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and moving on with the video. So I'm gonna leave timestamps in the description below pointing out different sections of the video in which I talk about different things. So in this section I'll be talking about the maps, I'll give a section for the guns and for the movement. So moving into the maps, in Modern Warfare the maps are much different than in any other Call of Duty game. From what we've seen so far with the alpha gameplay from all the YouTubers that got to play the game, from the streamers that went to the Infinity Ward event, and of course the 2v2 alpha, we've seen quite a lot of content, and that's just the teaser content. Bear in mind, I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to show everything they've got, you know, due to Activision restricting them with not showing everything, so there's more content on release day, and they don't just show everything they've got in game in beta and alpha stages, so people at least have something to look forward to. But I really do hope that Infinity Ward just does deliver a lot of content throughout this year. I know the season pass is free for everybody this year, but to be honest with you guys, as good of news as that is, it still kind of doesn't persuade me towards a lot of content being in the game. Like, there's still a lot of things that come into play when it comes to a free season pass. Activision wants to see a lot of money made through Modern Warfare, and they will push microtransactions. I'm not going to go deep into microtransactions in this video because I do have a dedicated video for this, and I will leave it down in the description below if you want to watch that. But I am sure that they will push microtransactions a lot this year, and due to the season pass being free, they don't really have any kind of requirements of how many maps they need to release, how much content they have to release. Because when Black Ops 4 came out, or when any other Call of Duty game came out, they mentioned how many maps there will be in the season pass, how many different events, what you'll get through the season pass, and that's mainly why people even bought the season pass. But this year it's much different. Like, it's free. They do not have a requirement saying that there has to be at least 15 maps, there has to be at least 3 spec up missions. There's no requirement, so they can literally just release like 3 new maps, and that's it for the free season pass. So I really do hope when the game releases, there's a lot of guns, there's a lot of content overall for us to play around with, just so the longevity of the game is much higher than any other Call of Duty game. So the second thing I want to mention about the maps in Modern Warfare is that they did tell us before that the maps aren't going to be just standard 3-lane maps like we've had in the past Call of Duties. Like, pretty much every single map in Call of Duty was a 3-lane map, which meant you had a right side to go, a left side and a middle, and it was either one of them. Of course, there was some obstacles in the way just so you couldn't run across the whole map just running straight through the middle, but it was pretty much a 3-lane design throughout every single map in Call of Duty. There was some outliers with maps in previous years, but we've mostly focused on 3-lane maps in Call of Duty before, and they did mention that it's going to be different this year. They're going to try and experiment with different styles of maps, and it will be much different than before. And this news does really make me happy, because I really did get tired of the old lame 3-lane maps in Call of Duty. They do get really boring, really repetitive, especially if you play Call of Duty 4 as long as I did and some of the people that I play with. It does get really boring. It's so generic, and I'm really glad that they did change that. They're trying to experiment, and we'll just see in the full game what it really comes out to be. But I did see some criticism saying that maps in 2v2 are way too simple. They're not complicated enough. It's too easy to, you know, find your enemies, and just the maps are just not good enough. And people make the arguments about maps from the 2v2 alpha, which really doesn't make sense, because in my opinion it's a tiny game mode. It's meant to be for 2v2 or even 3v3 if they add, and I'm pretty sure they would use the exact same maps. So the maps are meant to be simple, they're meant to be easy to navigate through, and they will most likely be a 3-lane design, which it just doesn't correlate in any way to the multiplayer and what we're going to see with 6v6, 32v32 and so on. So now in this section we'll move on to the gunplay and the movement, which I'm going to put in together because they do really stick together and they do kind of bounce off of each other, and I just don't want to make this video too long so it's easier to watch. So the guns in Modern Warfare feel amazing. Like, I don't know what it is about the feeling of the guns in this game, but they just do excite me and just make me want to play this game. The amount of recoil, the amount of customization we have with the attachments and the gun bench in this game is just amazing. Like, no one can argue that they absolutely smashed the creator class system in this game. Even though we don't know everything about it, we don't know what's really going to be there, what's actually going to be happening with the creator class and how complicated it's going to be, we do know quite a bit with the attachments and how much you can actually customize your gun in this game. Like, from the footage we've seen from the alpha gameplay where YouTubers went out and recorded gameplay with Infinity Ward, it's amazing. Like, you can literally change an AK-47 to an AK-47U, then change it to an RPD and just customize it the way you want. The way you want to play with the gun is the way you can customize it, and it just gives us more possibilities, more creator class ideas, and overall just more freedom to picking the playstyle you want to play. But I do need to say that some guns in this game just feel way too ridiculous. Like, the recoil on some guns is just insane. Like, it's literally uncontrollable. It's so hard to hit shots, especially with LMGs, and I'm pretty sure it was the AK-47. You guys must have seen some footage in the gameplay behind. It's insane. Like, some of the recoil is just a bit too much. Like, there's a bit too much recoil, a bit too much realism in this game. Like, I do not want to be tap firing with my AK just to kill someone, and it's a bit too ridiculous in some circumstances with some guns. Some guns are way too weak. Again, I don't want to get into too much detail on that because I know a lot of it will be changed, it will be adjusted, so there's no point talking about weak guns and overpowered guns and stuff. Everything's going to change. At least a lot of things are going to change. Like the M14, I'm pretty sure, which was ridiculous in this alpha, is not going to stay the same. Most likely the Deagle is going to get a little bit of a nerf because a lot of people have been saying that it's kind of too ridiculous. The shotguns, judging that it's a primary gun in this game, not like it was in Black Ops 4 that it's a secondary, it's most likely going to get a buff because they were a little bit too weak for what they were in this game. The range on them was also a little bit too ridiculous, but again, a lot of things are going to change, a lot of things are going to develop throughout the beta and the game's life cycle, so there's no point, you know, talking about it now and panicking what's going to be happening with the guns. But in my opinion, the sounds of the guns is amazing. Like, you can literally hear the shells hitting the floor. Now, moving on to the movement system in this game, and it does really play a massive role in the different sections like guns and the maps and how the game overall feels. And I personally think it's a little bit too slow. It should be increased a little bit, like make the guns a bit faster, the sprint out times a little bit faster, the ADS a little bit faster, the sprinting a little bit faster. I know it's not going to be too easy because they've already designed most of the maps for this game and they would have to readjust a couple of things, but it really does feel a little bit too slow. At the end of the day, this is a Call of Duty game. It's meant to be really fast paced, and right now as it sits, it's a little bit too clunky and too slow. The guns feel much slower than any Call of Duty game in the past. Like, the sprint out time of the guns should be decreased by quite a lot. You can see on some of the heavier guns like the LMGs, which does make a lot of sense. I know it's added in there for realism, it's not a mistake, but it should be decreased a little bit. I nearly said increased there, I keep on making the same mistake, but literally it feels a little bit too slow and it does not feel like Call of Duty in some places. But I'm sure they will adjust it somewhat and make the movement a little bit different, maybe increase it a little bit, make it a bit faster and more fast paced than it was in the alpha. But besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was quite a long one, and please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. There's much more content coming to the channel. Stay tuned for all the Modern Warfare videos coming in the near future. The beta is going to be lit, trust me. I'm going to be making so many videos about the beta, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. It was Super Mikeyy signing out. Peace.